Hello everyone, my name is Rick Passek, FlyFish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today, another Chironomid for the month of Chironomids in February. Oh, sorry, just bumped the table. I'm just gonna do it's a little olivey green, chromy kind of pattern. So let's get her going. So, Hens BL599 size 12. I tie this in a 12, 14, 16. Sorry, just so you guys can see. 1/8 black, flat black bead. Tungsten if you want. This is just a brass bead. For the gills, I'm going to be using some Semperfli poly yarn. It's off of this multi-card. It's got all the multiple colors. I'm just going to use the white. For the body, it's just going to be olive green Nanosilk from Semperfli. For the rib, it's going to be Semperfli mirror tinsel in Mirage. And for the second rib, that's actually the kind of an overbody, the first one. And then the rib is going to be a Hens body material. It's a stretch floss in a chartreusey yellowy green. So, okay. So, first things first. I wax my thread. Just get this started right behind the eye here. Okay. Just nip off my excess. Tie in my gills. You don't have to do gills. If you don't want to do gills, use a white bead instead. Totally up to you what you would like to do. I just like the effect of the gills. Cut this on a taper towards the back, and then flatten your thread a bit. Back all the way forward here, and I'll do a whip finish right behind the eye. Cut off that thread. Just make sure this is twisted up onto the top, which it now is. Push that bead forward, and then I'll take my scissors and just cut that nice and short. I only want about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. That's it. So, okay. Wax my thread again. Just restart right behind that eye. The bead, sorry. Just create a nice symmetrical, clean, flat body as much as you can. Just gonna flatten out my thread a bit there. And I like doing one full sweep of my whatever color thread I'm using right along the bottom. I like having a base layer. Okay, all the way forward. Take my Mirage and my stretch floss, first my stretch floss, and just catch this in right behind the bead there. Couple of good, 2-3 good turns, and then stretch it really hard. You don't want to build up the body too much if you can help it. All the way back and all the way forward. Not too worried about that piece there because I'm going to be building up a bit back here anyway, but let's try to get that tied down. There we go. Okay, so just hold that out of the way. Take your Mirage tinsel, just tie that in, just catch that in by the tip here, and then just bring this back as well. Okay, just turning that just so I can flatten my thread. And then I'm just gonna build up a bit of a body now. The taper for the body, especially at the front end here. Now the reason I did that the white gills and stuff first is because it right away helped build up that body, that taper, right? So I don't have to do as much work with the thread. Come back. For me, that's pretty good. So now I'm going to take the Mirage tinsel and I'm going to just cover a green underbody, right? And it's going to have that green hue show through. Just touching, if slightly overlapping. If you get the odd little green thread showing through, it's not going to hurt it. Three, 4 times in front, 3, 4 times in top. Gotta turn and nip that off. Sorry that it's out of your view. Gotta start using my straight shank, my straight jaw instead of this one. Every time I turn it, it goes out of focus for you guys. So now I'm just gonna put because I don't want to lose that Mirage tinsel. Put just a half hitch or a couple of whip finishes in, just to because I'm gonna bump this for sure. So now really good stretch at the back end here. And as I come forward, I'll let it go a bit. Making a bit of a thicker rib as I come forward. Catch that in. Give that a really good stretch once you've caught it in. Really good stretch. Cut it off. You make sure you got that caught in, otherwise zip, out she goes. Okay, just let me get that a bit more focused for you. Really finicky with that Mirage tinsel really picks up the light a lot and kind of makes things a bit blurry. So then just build up a little bit there with the olive. Just come back over top a little bit. Really good pull to cinch that in there. Make sure that's right in there. Nip off my thread. Take a little bit of Gulf. This is what I use, is the Gulf Thin Min. You can use whatever UV resin you prefer, but I prefer this Gulf. And the two I prefer is the Gulf and the Semperfli one. The Semperfli one I find is excellent if you've got to fill gaps and anything a little thicker, because the Semperfli one is quite a bit thicker. For this kind of stuff, I prefer the Gulf, but it depends what you're doing, right? Make sure you just get that nicely covered. It's a really thin layer. I didn't put too much on. I don't want to build up the bulk too much. I'm just going to turn that upside down just for a few seconds and let that kind of center itself on the bottom, especially. On the top, sorry. And then when I'm done here, I'll cover it with some Sally Hansen's just to make it, like once this is dried up, I'll just put some Sally's on it and she's finished. Now this Hens body material, you can see, I don't know if you guys can see it on there, but it just lights up. Like it's super UV. Oh, here, maybe if I turn off this light. See, it's super UV. Really bright, lights up really well. And then because of that, the mirror tinsel is slightly opaque. The Mirage tinsel, sorry, this one, slightly opaque. You can actually see the kind of see the body underneath it, the green underbody, right through it, but it just barely shows through. So yeah, so that's all she is right there. Now I'll give it a turn so you can see it there, and I'll focus. Yeah, I got to figure out this whole focus thing. It's not every time I turn this, it just goes out of focus, and I think I might just have to get a slightly better lens or something. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of Sally's, just give it another little coating. This will help fill any gaps that were left, if there was any, and it just makes it a little bit harder. And also, depending, it can also, so this is something you have to think about when you're doing this. If you don't want it to darken, you might not want to do this, because Sally's can darken it just a little bit, right? Ever so little. So here we go. Let's get her back in focus for you. Right about there. Let's see. There we go. So, done. Ready? Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you did, give her a thumbs up. If you subscribed, thank you. We're getting really close, guys. Like, really close. I know I keep saying it, but during Christmas and stuff here, it was a little slower growth, but I can see that it's picking up like crazy again, and we're almost at 2,000. And when we get to 2,000, I got a couple, 3 big packages to give away. Some Renomed Scissors, some Renomed hats, some Semperfli materials, swag, some Hens materials, and a few other things. Donated by FlyFish Canada and Semperfli and Renomed. So yeah, I've got some stuff to give away, and yeah, we'll do that as soon as we hit around that 2,000 mark. So, alrighty, tight lines, everyone.